birthdays or events don't really work for this. Our family are bigger than an average typical family, a father, mother, and 2 child. This is not going to work for our culture and our community. So if you consider that, and that's in your community, I think we should actually reach out to them, mainly because some of them may be low income and also additional, like $50 for each card. What if they have 5 children and are feeding themselves? That is not going to work for them. I pay lots of money to come to this university, and I choose public parking because it's free, and I already paid a lot of money to come here. So I don't think it makes sense for me to pay more money to park on public streets. And so I hope that you guys consider these things to your proposal.
Thank you. Marv Clot.
Marv Clot, I live on Bank Drive. I'm a landlord and have 5 properties that I rent to students. They're terrific. The Crosse is a great community. It has 3 terrific resources in the universities here. This seems to be discriminating against the universities and the students there. We ought to be much more welcoming to these students. They have a terrific impact on the economics of our whole city. And this isn't fair to them, and it isn't fair to some of the neighborhoods. It's clear that there are many things wrong with the proposal so far. But one of the things that hasn't been mentioned is trying to enforce the administrative costs. The city has a heck of a time trying to enforce the rental inspections and things, and to do this for the parking, to issue permits, the administrative expenses and things that are going to go into here are just going to be so enormous that the city hasn't even considered it.
Thank you. Kevin?
Hello and thank you. My name is Catherine Sitowski, and I am thankful to serve as the campus area city council member, so that's the 5th district. And I just would like to talk about a few things with this proposal. First, the timing and the density issues, and then the logistics of it too. So first, in regards to timing of the proposal, it's very difficult for me to see proposals like this come across our city council desks when it's mid-May and it's final sweep for the UWL students. A lot of these issues, whether it's rental issues or parking issues, have occurred with students having really been through to advocate for themselves, and for me, for some of the residents, it's been very frustrating. And again, I don't think that was malicious or anything, but I think it's very important for us as elected officials to be cognizant of what we're doing and what message we're sending to our students too. In regards to the proposal, I really believe that this parking problem is a density problem, and it's caused by not only a lack of off-street parking on single-family homes, but also for rental structures too. And I think that it does go back to the design standard, which is really important to consider as well. But at the same time, we're talking about off-street parking, and streets are public areas. Students are residents of this area, and I think it's important that we look at all sides of this. I think there's really big misconception that exists that students don't want to pay for parking on campus, and that's simply not true. We can't find it. As somebody who lives on campus and as somebody who parks on campus, it's actually very difficult for us to get residential permits to park on campus. So what does that do? It forces us to go into the public streets. In addition, just talking about some of the logistics of this, we're looking at the 48 hours rule, and the alternate side parking. There's actually a rule that exists in the city of La Crosse that if you have your car parked in the street for more than 48 hours, it's actually considered an abandoned vehicle. So there is some way to deal with that, and I don't think that alternate side parking every night is the way to address that issue. In addition, I got a lot of questions about the different zones that this creates. As we all know, the 14th Amendment of the Constitution talks about equal protection under the law. So I'm very, I guess, moving forward with the zoning, I'd be very cautious with the way that's written and the way that's done. I just have questions about it. I'm not necessarily saying it's right or wrong, but I really would like to get more information about that. And again, with alternate side parking, we're forcing 2 times as many cars cars on one side of the street. And when that happens, that just contributes to this issue spreading out into the greater community. So when we're considering whether or not to allow alternate side parking for an entire year, I really consider what the impact of that is going to be. So finally, I'm sorry, a couple of, so again,
Thank you. Let us speak.
Thank you. Devin Remington.
Oh, you broke the hub. I did too.
2111 State Street, so I'm in this, I guess, one of the areas that are under discussion. I've represented the UWL Student Association as the local affairs director for all of last year. I've worked very hard on a number of issues, and this is one where I was slightly concerned by the transparency that was shown. It seemed like I was gracious enough to be invited to a DNA neighborhood meeting where they, that was the first time I ever heard anything of this, and it seemed like a lot of the details had already been sorted out and talked about. And it was just worrying. I think that we shouldn't have been involved in some of these conversations. The university should have been involved sooner. As should the community. I think a lot of this is punitive. We shouldn't be treated as part of the problem here. We're part of the community. We want to be involved in these things. We think that there should have been a lot more dialogue. And although we are interested in working, we really need to see a little bit more compromise. We think that these measures are really extreme, and I think most students would agree with me. Punishing other members of the community who are nowhere near these zones is incredibly punitive and disruptive to the community. And clearly, I think if this is a listening session, you should listen, reject these proposals, and come up with something more workable and loop everybody in. Thank you.
Kaylee Attenbach.
Hello, my name is Kaylee Attenbacher. I currently represent students as president of our student association here. And I agree with that, and I'm very distraught by the lack of input that the students have been able to have in this issue. If you guys look back there, our entire back room is filled with students who want a voice. Students want to be heard. They're giving up 1-2 hours of their finals weekend or their finals week to be here and to express their concern for these changes. And the fact that, as Devin stated, we were involved in this process and students didn't have a seat at your table is my main concern here today. Students are very much so part of this community. We're not the entire community. We understand that. And we don't even think we're the bosses of your community, but we want to make sure that our voices are being heard too. We are very much a part of this community. I would guess that a third of your employment, your fast food, your retail employment here in La Crosse is student employment. You lose a ton of revenue in your downtown businesses and your businesses on the south side if students weren't here. So students have a huge part in this community. I asked for us to have a seat at your table. Under my administration next year, I want to make sure that students have a voice and students are being heard not only on the campus, not only in the state, but also in their community. Thank you.